Hi everybody! Hope you're all doing well. It's Dragana here from Saacibo. I'm continuing my work on those two journals for my brother and my nephew. And, I said I was going to decorate in front of the camera, but I'm sorry. It was late one night and I felt inspired to decorate, but I didn't turn the camera on, so I actually completed the journals on the inside. So I decided to make up for it and show you how I'm going to do the covers. And I thought about it, what sort of cover to do for a guy, for a man. I don't know, I struggled quite a bit with these two journals, but I'll show you what I've planned, and I don't know if it's gonna turn out good or not, but I'll try. And this is not going to be a tutorial. It's more like me figuring out how to do this cover, more like a process video. So for my nephew's journal, here it is. I'll do a proper flip through once I finish the covers, but for his journal I picked up this lovely fabric that I was given. It's really, it's kind of sturdy. It's upholstery fabric, but it's got this lovely pattern in grays and blues, and I just think he might like that. It's kind of, it just has that really nice look, kind of cozy. I don't know how to explain. And then for the inside, I picked this fabric that was actually recycled fabric from Japanese kimonos that was given to me by my nephew's mother. She's Japanese. He's actually half Japanese, half Bosnian, but he was born in Australia. Imagine that, like 3 cultures in one person. He's an amazing boy. I just love him so much. Because this fabric is a very thin, it's beautiful cotton, really good quality, but it's thin, and I don't want to put any cardstock or anything like that in the journal. I want it to be a soft cover. I decided to just iron this interfacing on the back to make it tougher, and this fabric is quite sturdy, so it's going to be all right. And for the closure, this is what I've imagined. I had this thing, probably a belt from something, I don't know, and I had this clip probably from an old bag, and I thought if I add that there and have a closure like this, I thought that would be interesting. And my first thought was to have this fabric go over this, like this. I'll show you. Don't know how to explain. Like that, to have the finish, but then it's too complicated. I thought I want to make it simple, and I want to make it easy for myself. So with this one, all I need to do now is iron this bit, and also I need to stitch that as close as I can on the sewing machine so that it doesn't move. And then when I decide to attach this to that, I will have to include that as well. But for now, I will just take it off. The first thing I need to do is to actually iron this to the back. And this is a really heavy duty interfacing used for coats and things like that. It should be really tough, should be enough for this. And as you can see, I didn't go all the way to the edges because I don't want the edges to be too thick, because later on when I turn it inside out, I don't want too much bulk there. So I'm just going to iron it like that, and I might even have to trim it off a little bit here. I didn't cut it properly. All right. So I'll just quickly go to my ironing board and iron this on, and I'll be back. All right. As you can see, that interfacing is glued onto the fabric, and this fabric is now a bit more sturdy. So what I want to do now is turn this face up and that face down, and just align everything like so. As you can see, it's not perfectly cut, but this is cut perfectly, so I'm going to sew on this side and follow these lines. I'll just ignore that and trim it off later. Okay, and I have to put that as well. How was this attached? Oh yeah, like that. So what I need to do now is just to do a quick stitch there. Here it is. It looks good on this side. Look at that. I totally forgot that I have the white thread in the bobbin, but that's all right. I don't want to do it again. I'll just use a Sharpie and I'll just do that. There you go. It's a permanent marker and problem solved. Should have thought about that before, but that's all right. Okay, so I have to attach this, but I don't know if it's going to be that way, so again, I'm sorry, but I have to check this first because I've forgotten already how it was, whether it was turned that way or that way. So I'll first attach it like that. Just to test it out. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. All right, solved. So in that case, it should be like this. Okay, and I need to find the middle approximately here, or maybe I'll just do it properly. So about here. Okay, so now I know for sure that this is supposed to go in there. All right. Let's put that there and keep that in the middle so it's not in the way. All right, and one more thing, I have to make sure I leave an opening to turn this inside out, and I'm thinking probably somewhere around the bottom or at the back. So this is going to be the part where, so that's going to be, is it? Oh God. I'll just leave it at the bottom. And I'll put some pins there to remind myself. It's so easy to forget. Okay. Probably a bit more. Like that. Sorry, I'm just figuring this out as I go. So I'll start probably here and go around, just a straight stitch, and I'll leave this part opened so that I can turn it inside out. I'll do that and I will be back. All right, I hope you can see, but it's been stitched from there all around, and now I have to trim off these edges, and I'm thinking I'll just cut them off a bit more, but not all the way to the edge, just like that, and the corners like a bit more on an angle like that. trim this as well. And here where the opening is, I won't actually trim at all. I will leave like that because I need it a bit more there. Okay, so now we can turn this inside out. Let's see if it might be a complete disaster, I don't know. Oh, it might be looking good. Just use something sharp, perhaps something like that, just to poke the edges. That's right, like that. It looks good, and obviously this will need to be either hand stitched, glued down. Okay, so this needs proper ironing, I think, and I have some of those double-sided tapes that you iron on, so I'm going to put a little bit in there and just iron this so that it's shut. And then once I do that, I'll have a look if I should just top stitch on top, but most likely I will have to. Oh, now I realize that opening is now at the top, not at the bottom. Oh well. Oh, it looks cute. The rest is all right. Okay, I'll just iron this and I'll be back. Okay, it's looking good. I ironed that down to have the crisp edges. Where the opening was, I just put a little bit of that double-sided tape to close it down, but I will stitch all around the edges. I think it would look better that way. It made the journal, the cover, a little bit smaller than it was, and you see I have an issue of these ears, I call them. So I think that's the only problem I have with that. I don't know how to fix that. Perhaps I could have done that, or maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. I don't know. I'll see once I stitch if that's going to improve. As you can see, I stitched very close to the edge, probably about half a centimeter or quarter of an inch to the edge. It looks good on this side, although it seems to be a bit more fabric on this side than on this, and I'm not happy about that, you know, because it closes like that, and that's what's causing this. I guess this fabric stretched a little bit, but because at the moment it looks better if I actually do this. Look, now it closes properly, although this is now on the wrong side, so I can't do that either, unless I undo this stitch and do that again, because it just sits so much better when I turn it this way. You see, sometimes things like this happen. I'll show you what I mean. If I do it like that, it seems to be a lot more fabric there, and this is that then really gets pulled like that, and and instead of laying flat, it looks like that, and I'm not happy with that. Not really happy at all with that. So I'm thinking it actually really should be, that should be the front. And the only problem is this here now, which I have done in the black thread, in the white thread anyway, so I have to undo it. That's why I said this is not going to be a tutorial. This is me figuring out how to do this in front of the camera. And sometimes when you do something for the first time, I don't know if it's a good idea or if I should just do it and then show you the result. But in case you're wondering what the process was, yeah, it's not that, you know, you see the end result and the journal looks great, but there's a lot of trial and error happening behind the scenes. Okay, so this needs to be over here. Okay, great. I'll just stitch it there now. Let's have a look. I actually like how it looks. Great. It does look better with this fabric being on the outside. I just love this fabric. It's really, really beautiful. So now I have to mark where I need to put the eyelets. I'm going to add eyelets there and elastic, and this is already bound, so it will be one of those where you just slide it in and you take it out when you want to use it, or once you fill it in, you can still use the cover for another journal if you wish to. So I now have to figure out where to add eyelets. Okay, so they need to go somewhere there. I'll just use the pins. Like that. This one. Alright, let's just test if that's the right 14.8, 14.8. Okay, so they need to be there, and also they need to go above the journal, so probably here. Just put a little cross like that. And this one as well. This fabric is really, this other fabric, the one that's now on the inside, is really tough. Okay, let's test that. Yeah, that's plenty of room. So I'm going to add eyelets there and there, and then just use the elastic to hold it. I'm going to use the same color as that, so I'm just going to use the smaller ones if I have any bronze color. Let's see that one. One more. There it is. Great. this is not something I like doing because I always get mixed results. I'm just going to use these, and I have to punch holes, and I have this thing. It's not really the best. Just there. How do I mark this? The pen, perhaps? Is this going to work at all? No. What about if I use this? It's really tough, this fabric. Here it worked. As you can see, the white showing. I'll just make sure I put it in the right spot. I have a feeling it, yeah, I moved it a little bit, so I'll have to do the same with the other one. So still not wide enough. Oh gosh, it finally came through to the other side. Just going to secure the edges. Oh, that was terrible. I'm sorry. Good. I made it, yay. So again, I need to do that. Perhaps it will be easier this time. Good. Eyelets are set. I actually recorded it, but it took me over 15 minutes to do them. I really struggled, so I think I'm going to cut it out of the video. It's just not really interesting watching me struggle with those eyelets. But the important thing is they're there now. And let's test it. It looks good. Now I have to figure out how much of this I need. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm just using black. Perhaps I can have a bit more and have it hanging down like that. I'm thinking, I should probably do that, like that. You see what I've done? Like, I put that one through inside and that one through on the outside, so I have this. And because I don't want to put a knot in the middle of the signature, there is already this there, and it just be really bulky then. I think I'll just close this down just to see how much I need to cut off. So probably like that, and I'll just do a knot. And then at some point, if this becomes too loose, you know, you can always, it can be undone and made tighter, I suppose. Let's have a look. I don't like how it's pulling on the inside. So like that. That's great. I love how it looks. You can have beads there, but I'm not going to add anything else to it. I just love that cover. I mean, this is A5 size. It's quite standard for notebooks. If he has another journal or fills this one up quickly, he can just slide it out and put some other one inside like that. I love how it turned out. Although this was my first preference, but I think it looks even better like that. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow, I suppose. There it is. I love it. Soft and squishy. Now it does look like a kimono with a belt, black belt. Oh yeah, it does. I love it. It's beautiful. Okay, that's that one done. Now the other one. Oh boy, I'm gonna struggle with this one. I don't even know if I'm capable of doing it. Now this is a cravat that I want to use as a closure like that, and I want to add these as a closure. That's one of my thoughts. The other one is to have a magnetic closure, and I have those little magnets. Perhaps that would be better, because I know I'm gonna struggle with this. I can never figure out how to do it properly. I always end up destroying those snap buttons, whatever, and they might be pulling too hard and eventually it will break the fabric. So I'm thinking might be better off to have a magnetic closure, one of those smaller ones. They're much easier to install. And all parts. Okay. That's that. I think I want to use those. I prefer to use those. Okay. And the other thing is, this is, I wanted to do, excuse me, like a really recycled cover. My brother loves that. And this is the old jacket, old leather jacket. I'm not a big fan on working with leather, but it's better to make something nice with this rather than waste it. And it's still in a really good condition, and I think my brother might like it. And that's also shirt. My brother loves recycled stuff, I think. And it's kind of really flimsy. So I thought to add like 2 layers of interfacing onto this shirt. So I will iron one, and I'll see if it's not firm enough, I'll iron another one on top. So that will give me more durability, more sturdiness to this fabric, because I really want to have this on the inside. And look at this, there's a pocket from the shirt, and I thought I wanted to leave it there because I wanted to have this here, and that's why I cut this part of the shirt. And with this one I will not do that, turn it inside out. It might be more difficult to do it with the leather. I'll just leave the leather as it is. It's not going to come apart, it's leather. But with this I will have to figure out how to do that, whether to have it like that and do a zigzag stitch, or maybe do that and attach it to the leather part like that. Perhaps I can do that, I don't know yet, but I will figure it out, I suppose. So my first step would be to iron this on, then I'll do that and I will be back. I did add 2 layers, as you can see. Now it's a lot thicker, and honestly I'm thinking how to do this. I need to have enough room to add the eyelets, which is going to be tough. I should have cut a bit bigger piece of the leather. I might have just enough there. And with this, how to actually just attach it like that, go all the way. Honestly, I don't know, but definitely I need to trim off the edges, make it really straight, nice and straight. And it's a bit longer on this side than it should be. Should just square it up. And I'm thinking I need to glue this onto the leather. Perhaps I should do that, because I don't know if my machine's going to work. I'm trying to sew the leather to it. Okay, and also this, where do I cut this? If I have this there and that there, and I want this here like that, that means I need to cut it about somewhere here. Let's do this. Ugh, it's nerve-wracking. Okay, and that can be used in a different journal as a closure. I just love this fabric, like silky, but it's got some of that brown and some of the blue. I think my brother would like it. Okay, so about there. And when I install this, it's going to show through here, this part. So I will need to either glue something there as like a button or something, just to be purely decorative, I think. And on this side, I might be able to, let me just have a look. How is this? Ah, I see. I'll be able to install and then cover with that, like that. This is not, how is this done? Is it just sewn by hand, I suppose? Yep. I'm thinking that I should actually stitch it on the sewing machine to make it a bit more strong. I don't know. It's so difficult, this part. You have to watch me struggle. I think I need to install one part of these before I do anything, and I can then do this later on to have it at the proper spot, but I need to do one now. Okay, which one should I have there? Perhaps that one. Okay. approximately there. Okay. Now with these, just put them back. That needs to go through, and I would just, but not there. Okay. Just fold like this and use that as a guide to mark where I need to make little incisions. So, tiny. Like that. Alright. Now they can go through here. But because this fabric is kind of, it's silk, it's flimsy, I'm thinking whether I should put something there, like a piece of cardstock or perhaps even a piece of that leather. Just something that is a bit more durable. Put a little square. Like that. Again, I have to make some small incisions. Yep. That is better. Now we take this. It's my trusted tool. And I will just pull them to the inside. Like that. They usually pulled this way, but it might be better if I just do it like that. And then this here, I'm thinking maybe I can just glue it with some hot glue. Yeah, it worked. And also here, just add good. Now we made that there. How is this supposed to go again? Like this. Perfect. Okay, so this will have to be attached. Oh, like that. Like we said, we're not going to go, and I'm thinking I'll just glue it down. And you see here what's going on there. Seems to be I'm missing a piece. That is 24. That's the middle. Okay. Too much glue. I can't really use my pins for the leather, it just won't go through. So that's all right. Great. Now I have to do that later. I have to trim this down. This side was not straight. I need to fix that a bit. Probably need to trim off there. Now this part. But even this isn't straight, is it? It's that issue there. Maybe you can just round the edge there. That's what I'll do. Just have it like that. And I'm cutting both of them at the same time, so that they are exactly the same then. And of course I will have to do the same for this. See, I'll just cut and hope for the best. Yep, I think it looks good. Now I want to glue this. I want to glue that down. I think I will glue it down and but I also do the sewing. I will try do a test run on another piece of leather just to see if my sewing machine can handle it. I think I have a needle that's just for sewing leather, but I haven't tried it before, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I will give it a go. I'm thinking double-sided tape. It's probably my best option. Because I will be sewing, and do I need it all the way? I think that should be enough. Oops. Fingers crossed. I will do that somehow. Be pressing, I'll just put it down gently. This is difficult. Camera is in my way and I can't really see. Better if I do it like that. Yeah, that is good. Let's test it out. It's quite thick actually. Nice and sturdy. I'm loving it. I am loving it. It's great. Alright, so what I'll do now, first I'll test my sewing machine if it can actually sew through the leather. If not, I don't know how to do it. By hand, it's not appealing to me. It would take forever. But I will try, and I don't know, if not a straight stitch, maybe a zigzag stitch or something. I'll see what looks better, and then I will show you the end result. Here we go. I did struggle a little bit. I think I put a thicker thread in both bobbin and the upper thread, and it just didn't work. So I left it a thick thread in the bobbin, and I put just a normal thread up, and I sew from this side instead of from that, and it went through. As you can see, a few areas where the layers were thick, it just was a bit more difficult, but it did work in the end, and I'm really happy with the result. Actually, I'm very happy. I think it looks really interesting, and let's just test it out. So here, it just looks really nice, and even there my cutting was really uneven, but it adds to the character, you know. It just looks really good. So now here we need to add that other part. Perhaps I can just mark like that where the magnet needs to go. Middle, like so. I just put a little mark. Where's my pencil? Like that. I just need to make little incisions. That bit there and a little bit there. Like so. Great. Is that in the middle? It went a little bit more on that side, but that's alright. And it's going to look like that on this side. That's fine. All right, so where's my tool? I need to push these in. They normally push out, but I don't want to put a huge button on top later on to hide this. So I'm going to push these towards the inside. Normally when you install these things, bags, they stay inside and they're not visible, but in this case, great. Now I just have to find something to put there. Let's have a look here. I have this little button, but it has that thing that perhaps I could just cut it off. These are recycled. Just that I brushed this one and that one's still like that. I wonder if I can pull this out without destroying the button. Oh yeah, I did it. That's good. I want that. Wow, I love it. Isn't it gorgeous? It turned out so well. I did struggle, but I'm really, really happy with it. Wow. Now, all I need to do is to mark where the eyelets need to go. Forgot about that. Not done yet, obviously. So let me just measure that. So they need to go about there. Do I need enough room? I'll need to put them right there, really close to the edge. I'll just make some holes there and I'll set the eyelets and then I'll show you the end result. I have put the eyelets there. Now I have to thread the elastic through, and I have this dark brown but I'm not really, I don't know. I have black. There is no other black color in this cover, so I'm not really thrilled with that. And I have this, which is like a beigey goldy color, and I'm thinking, because there's some of it in this closure, and I'm thinking that might actually look the best. So I'm gonna go with that one. First of all, I'm going to trim this bit and cinch the edge so it stops unraveling. And to figure out again how much do I need. It's a little bit of tension, but not too much, but I suppose that can always be adjusted later on. So I will just cut it there, and then if it's too much I can always loosen it up. And again, just like with the other one, I will put that one there and this one through here like that, and I will just tie a knot down the bottom, just like that. As simple as that. Now I'll take the journal, open it up, find the center, and just slide it in. Oh, I love it. I think he's going to like this one. It's just, I don't know, it's just his style, I suppose. There we go. 2 journals for men done. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun watching me struggle making those 2 covers. But I think they just turn out so nice. I'm really, really happy. I did struggle because something I haven't done before. And I tried to figure it out on camera, and it made me even more nervous. But I'm so happy with the result, actually. I'm just really, really happy. And I can't really explain it. They feel so nice in the hand. Like this one, the silk and the leather. And this one as well, this lovely fabric. They're just, pictures. I really, really like how they turned out. Now all that's left to do is for me to film the flip through video so that you can see these gems on the inside. Until then, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. See you in my next video. Bye for now.